Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, April 5th. It is 6:18 right now. Market's going to open in about 12 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update, and we should be good to go. That's good. All right, everything's set up. Let me go ahead and send this link out to you guys here in the premium. All right, as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on the daily chart. So if you guys saw the liquidity from yesterday, pretty much all liquidity got hit after the live session. There's actually a lot of movement that happened closer towards the end. And I saw a lot of people pass their challenges due to that. So nice work, guys, for those of you who continue to follow liquidity after market close, because there was a ton of liquidity sitting there that price just never got to until after the live session. All right, 4 hour going down to the 2 hour. Going down to the 1 hour. Going down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10-minute. All right, and it looks like we are good to go. So going down to the 1 minute. And there goes all of the liquidity for today so far. So good morning, everybody. Today's Friday, April 5th. Happy Friday, everyone. 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. I've marked up liquidity from the daily down to the 10-minute. Looking at current price right here, we have liquidity down below at 38,927, and we have liquidity above at 39,073. So there goes the first two levels of liquidity right there. Volatility is pretty high because, as you guys know, it's at NFP today. You guys can see the NFP movement right here, this huge red candle. As price spiked down about 150 points and then swung right back up and then came right back down. So there goes the levels of liquidity that are currently available right now. You can see pretty much there was a lot of liquidity that was sitting down here pre-market. But when the NFP news came out right here, pretty much knocked out all this lower liquidity. So all liquidity that was sitting down here pretty much got knocked out, and now it's in a new range. So we'll see what happens here when market opens. Going over to our clean chart, I don't know if we're going to have much structure here because of the NFP news. Obviously, pretty much knocked out structure right there as well. But let's go over here to the 4 hour real quick. I'm going to turn on the high-low indicator. Going to identify structure up here. Identify structure up here. and identify structure down here. Going over to the 1 hour time frame. All right, so we have same structure here, not really much change. And I guess that's about it. So let me go over here and I'll just mark up. I'll go down to the 1 minute real quick if it even shows up on the chart. Okay, so we only have this lower level right here, which is going to be the 4 hour support level. And that's pretty much it. So we have this down here, which is the 4 hour support level. And there goes our clean chart. Looking over here at a BB3 chart, we currently don't have, actually we have a double body on both sides. We have a double body right here. And we have a double body down here, but you can see prices pretty much in a range. This is one thing that I've been noticing over the past couple of weeks, guys. You know, the BB3 is kind of tough because, well, mainly because price has been consolidating like this, right? It's been almost impossible to catch 125 points. Typically, a lot of people who've been taking the BB3, they've been going for about 10 points and they've been getting in and out very quickly with profit, which seems to be the case here because the volatility isn't the same as it's been for the past, 3 weeks. Past 3 weeks, volatility has been very low, and we've been getting a lot of this sideways movement. So this is why the BB3 has been struggling lately, because for one, price will consolidate like this, and when you're in the position, news happens, and price will go sideways for like about 20 minutes, and then when news happens, it spikes in the opposite direction, right? We don't have control over that, and that's why the BB3 has been struggling a lot lately. We've talked about this with a lot of people, and if you guys didn't sit in on the live session yesterday, this is the main reason why I'm going back to my normal way of trading, which is just high probability scalps. Because right now the market's just not good for the BB3. The BB3 is good if you go for like 10 points, but if you're going for the 25, you're stuck in that position for 10, 20 minutes when that position is supposed to run for a few minutes. It's supposed to hit and close within 5 minutes, but it just never happens that way because price continues to consolidate like it's been right here. So just a heads up, if you guys do decide to take the BB3, I'm going to keep taking it on my personal account, but not on my other accounts. For my other accounts, I'm only taking my regular scalps. Looking over here at the PRB, we currently have a bearish trend, so that we'll probably be looking for a sell once market opens. Market's going to open in about 5 minutes. We still have a lot of time here. And going over here to our main chart, this is where our main trading is going to happen. So we had news over here at 5:30 and 6 o'clock. I'll mark this up real quick. 5:30. Obviously, you already know where the 5:30 candle, it's a big one right here. 5:30 and 6 o'clock. Right there. And I think that's about it. So we don't have news until 9:15, which is Fed Bowman, who's going to be speaking. We have Fed Barkin who's speaking right now, who's just reiterating the NFP news. NFP news this morning was kind of mixed. Unemployment rate was neutral. NFP was positive. And you guys can see where the manipulation happened. The NFP news here was super positive, and price actually went down. At 5:30, price jumped super heavily to the downside, about 150 points, and then it shot all the way back up for correction, and then it came right back down after. So market today is pretty manipulated. That's pretty normal for NFP. We'll just kind of take it as is. Hopefully the entries today come around where there's no red flags, because yesterday price was in between red flags the entire session. And that just made things very difficult. So good morning, everybody. Looks like about majority of you guys are here so far. Let's take a look at retail sentiment. Retail sentiment is currently 59% short, so it's pretty much neutral right now for the most part. Typically, you want it to be above 65% on one side, but right now it's pretty much 59%. 41 to 59, which is pretty much, it's still bearish. I mean, it's bullish, but down the middle for the most part, because you don't really have too many people on one side. So retail sentiment right here is somewhat bullish, not very strong, but it is somewhat bullish. Looking over here at the fundamentals, I'll refresh this. Fundamentals are currently neutral right now. They're up 23 points. Typically, in order for them to be positive or negative, it would have to be above 100 points or below 100 points and consecutively below there. So we don't have that right now. Looking over here at the technicals, we currently have price, it was bearish for the 1 minute. It's now shifting up to bullish. The 5 minute over here, same as well. It was bearish. It's shifting up to bullish. The 10 minute over here was bearish, also shifting up to bullish. 30 minutes still bearish, 1 hour is bearish, and the 4 hour is bearish. So for the lower time frames, price is attempting to shift back up in correction to the NFP news this morning. And the higher time frames here are bearish. So they're still bearish, and they've been bearish for the past couple, the past couple of days now. So, all right, other than that, looks like we're ready to go. Market's going to open in about 2 minutes. We don't really have a trend here confirmed yet. Looking back at the BB3 chart, I'm going to take this off. There's no structure there anymore. And we'll see what happens here when market opens in a few moments. So, are you guys ready to kick off this live session? And we'll see how this goes. Hopefully, we'll have some sort of entry that comes up today. Because as you guys know, market's been pretty flat for the most part for the past, actually, the past 2 days. Market was decent on Monday. Tuesday was kind of rangy. Wednesday was a little flat. Yesterday was a little flat. I was sitting in between all the red flags, and today NFP, of course. So we'll see what happens in the next minute once market opens up. And let's see if we can close out this week with some trades. All right, guys, market is opening up in about 15 seconds. We are going to see where this goes. We have liquidity sitting down below here, so prices swing back down. I'll probably knock out that liquidity. Market is now open, guys. There. Let's go down real quick. All right, so the PRB could be setting up right here, guys. We have a rejection off the pivot here on the opening candle. So the PRB could be setting up here. So there's a structure right here, but this won't be the BB3 because the momentum signal came up before market open. So unfortunately, well, this is a setup for a breakout B3 continuation for anybody who's looking to take it. Obviously, I'm not going to take this here because it didn't happen after market open, but it looks like it already hit TP. So if anybody decided to take that there, it looks like the breakout B3 continuation just went straight down. But again, this momentum signal happened before opening price. So I was going to take that there. I'm waiting for the next one to come up. All right, so we got market open. There's like some movement here, not a lot of movement, but there's some movement here. Looks like there might be another double bottom right here, double body below. All right, so there might be a breakout B3 setting up here, guys, the regular breakout B3. So we have a double body rejection here. If we get a buy signal that comes up, this could be setting up for the breakout B3. For anybody who's looking to take it, I'm going to take it on my personal account, but that's about it. Not taking it on my Apex accounts. I'm only taking the regular scalps. All right, there's no PRB here. Looks like it's still setting up, but it's not there yet. So no PRB entry here just yet. Here we go as price bounces around. It's right next to opening price. So again, this is not an area that we typically want to trade in for the regular scalps. We want price to push away from opening price. We want price to push away from news price, sessions, etc. Looks like liquidity down here got hit too. I'm not sure if it already hit CP. Let's see. Looks like it barely hit TP right there. That was on the opening candle. All right, BV3 here still has not set up. PRB here still hasn't set up either. Hey, Jack, morning. All right, so the BV3 here is still setting up. We have a pending buy signal here. So if this buy signal closes, it's going to start setting up for the BV3. The PRB over here still hasn't set up yet. It keeps rejecting off the pivot, so there's no space candle yet. Just keeps going back and forth. But the BV3 here could be setting up possibly. Just a heads up if you guys are looking to take it. There's no scalps here. The trend looks like it's shifting. So if it shifts, then there's not going to be any entries here anytime soon. You can see prices having trouble getting past news and sessions right there. So there's no regular scalps available here yet. There's no PRB set up yet. The only thing that could be possibly coming up here would be the BV3 entry for anybody who's looking to take it. I'm not taking this as an official trade with my other accounts. I'm only taking this on my personal account because I have to take full data on it to make sure it's consistent long term. So for my personal account, I will be taking this trade, but not with my other account. So this doesn't count as the official trades. It's just one of the testing strategies that I'll be running on my main account. That's where I'm pulling all the data for this specific strategy. So BV3 here is setting up, guys, if anybody's looking to take it. If it closes with a green candle, this is going to be the BV3. Again, you have to wait for the candle to actually close. Just a reminder, I'm not taking this on my actual account. I'm not taking this on my Apex accounts. I'm taking this only on my personal. That's where we're pulling the data so that by the end of the year, we'll see what the results are looking like. So it's going to close in about 9 seconds. It's going to be tough because you have to wait for it to actually close. Not sure how this year is going to close. And there goes. So this is only on my personal account, guys. Reminder, I'm not taking this on my Apex. Only on my personal. That's set up right there. Just gotta make sure it closes out because I don't really take these trades on I'm using the NinjaTrader web app to make sure it closes out. It's kind of similar to TradeAway. Profits are like slightly different. So it looks like Nick took it here and he already pulled out. So Nick took it, he got out for 15 points on FTMO. Sadie got out. Looks like majority of people here got out already. The volatility is kind of all over the place right now. Yeah, it looks like everybody here got out already. So this is what I was talking about earlier, where there's problems with the BV3 lately because the volatility here kind of dies down. It typically would push right straight through, but as you guys have seen for the past 3 weeks, consolidation has been a big problem for the BV3 because it'll go sideways for a long time. And this strategy is supposed to hit within like the first 2 candles, right? To break out. So it's supposed to hit right away. Yeah, it looks like pretty much everybody here got out already. Vimal got out for 10.25. Natasha got out right there. Yeah, everyone here got out, looks like. Johnny got out. Randy got out. And this is what I was talking about earlier, guys. So this is the problem with the BV3. The BV3 works. It's just because of the market conditions, it's not going to its full potential where it's supposed to go 25. And this is what I was talking about in the past, that you would have to make adjustments to it, right? So if anything, I mean, if this is the case, then adjustments might have to be made where the TP stop loss might have to just be tighter. I thought 2020, I thought 25 would be the smallest that we would go, but it looks like, we might have to adjust this to maybe like 2020 or even 1515, because you guys can see how it runs. But it's okay. This is all for data purposes. So I'm going to be putting this in the data set because that's the only way we'll be able to make adjustments to the strategy, right? We already had a feeling this was going to happen. I'm glad everybody here pulled out. Looks like Vimal pulled out, Nick pulled out, Randy got out, Johnny got his new funded accounts, Natasha pulled out, Maria, Oscar. Yeah, it looks like everybody here pretty much pulled out for the most part. I'm pretty much, I just got to let the trades run on my personal account because that's where I'm going to pull all the data. So like in the future, well, probably by the end of April, I'll keep running it as it is. But by the end of April, if things need to be changed, obviously we can change things, right? We can make TP stop loss smaller. But the only way we can do that is if someone is going to take the data, and that someone has got to be me, unfortunately. But it's okay. It's all for the good of the group here because obviously my main account will be taking it. My personal account will be taking hits, but the main account, those hits are going to help us understand the strategy better and see where we need to make changes. So yeah, it's all good. Yeah, like Kenny said over here, he said I think literally it was 1 point away from TP. Yeah, it's been like this for like the past couple of days, and this is what's been super annoying about the strategy, is because it gets really close and then it pulls back, and then when you're on Apex, this is like not good for your account because of the trailing drawdown that stands within. Okay, so we have a possible breakout V3 continuation setting up right here for our actual scalps, and that's going to be something that I will be taking on my other accounts. So just a heads up. So we have let's see. Yeah, you don't need to be on Confluence for this, Randy. This is a breakout V3 continuation. Only for the regular breakout, you would need it. All right, so this here is not looking like it's going to close. It's also touching opening price, so this is going to be a red flag. So this right here is not going to be an entry. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be an entry either way because for one, there's no red candle, and for two, it's touching the blue line here, which is opening price. So we got that there. Again, there's no scalps available yet, guys. We just got to wait. So no scalps available here. And let me check the PRB. PRB came down. Rejection. Space. Rejection. All right, so we got the rejection right here. We got the space. This could be the PRB right here, actually. If anybody's looking to take the PRB. If this candle closes red, well, it's got to close below this point here. It's not going to. Yeah, there's no entry there, not yet. But the PRB is setting up here, possibly. All right, so let me just mark this up real quick. I'll put this in the spreadsheet. Entry happened at 6:36. $6.36. I'll just put this on the BV3 spreadsheet. Uh, $20 points. Profit. That's another thing that's kind of been affecting the entry as well. And that's kind of why I stopped wanting to take the BV3 as much because of news. So like you guys can see a lot of the manipulation here happening because of news. And that's normal. I mean, typically I don't trade around news anyways. If you guys have been trading with me for a while, news is like one of the big things that I try to avoid. And the problem with the BV3 is that it happens like around times where, or like days, like for example, today on NFPs, usually I'm more careful on days like this, but for the specific strategy, you have to take it like pretty much every day, and it makes it almost impossible for you to avoid anything. Like you can't avoid trades when news is happening. You can't avoid risky days. You just have to take the trade every single day because that's how the strategy works. And that's kind of what pushed me back to trading how we normally do, because I'm a careful trader and I'm very conservative. So it's hard for me to avoid a lot of the red flags that I've kind of trained myself to look for. And I think it's better this way because we're fully analyzing the charts. Before, when we were only taking the BV3, we typically would only look at the BV3 and we'd kind of like be done for the day. But I think now that we're fully analyzing the charts like we should be, we're able to really identify, how market's moving, things to look for, and stuff like that. But there's a lot of stuff that's happening, and you need to understand like how the market's moving in order for you to identify how to adapt with the market. So like right here, you can see prices in a range. If we didn't really look at this deeply, we wouldn't really know. But now that we've been following it here, you can see that price is obviously in a range. The trend here hasn't been firm, so there's no entries for us to take here just yet. If price continues to climb up further, we'll be looking for a momentum pullback scalp entry. So we have a buy signal right here. The trend here is attempting to shift to the upside. Once it shifts to the upside and we have this red pivot below all the other pivots, we'll be looking for price to climb up higher, retrace, and climb back up. And that's where we're going to be looking to take our momentum pullback scalp entry. But until then, we need to wait for the confirmation right here of the trend first. So we don't have that yet. And we'll keep waiting for that to happen before we look for any entries here. So some team profits over here from Maria. Maria took the breakout V3 right there. She pulled out early, just like everybody else. She locked in a total profit of 246,810, well over 1,000 for the day. All wins on our Apex accounts. Nice work, Maria. So yeah, big congrats to a lot of people who passed their Apex accounts this week. I'll post them up later. I haven't been able to post them up yet, but there was two people who passed. We had Jamel, he passed his Apex 50K. He's now funded. And then we also have Johnny, who passed, I think, a couple accounts as well, 150K accounts on Apex as well. So big congrats to our members here who passed their Apexes this week. I mean, it's been a pretty messy week and a pretty messy month so far. So, for those of you who are able to pass your accounts during, these market conditions, props to you guys. Now that I'm going back to our normal scalps, this should be a lot easier for us it's going to take a bit longer for us to pass things because the TP stop loss is a lot smaller, but it should be fine. I mean, it's just going to take a little bit longer depending on the day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we had like a lot of wins that came up. Yesterday, there was no trades that came up. And then hopefully today we'll have at least one trade that comes up. That'll be smooth. But as you guys can see right here, this is not exactly the best market to be trading in because you guys can see the structure. Price is really just consolidating and ranging within these two structures right here. I'm going to go over here to our clean chart and mark it up as well so that you guys can see it a little bit better. So here is the clean chart. So we got the 1 minute resistance level right here. And we got the 1 minute support level right here. This is literally where price is ranging from right now. So this is the current range right here. Price is just going back and forth between the 1 minute resistance and 1 minute support. Price isn't really pushing above. So we're not really going to look for any entries until price actually pushes past the resistance level because it's currently in a consolidation phase right now, which is where we don't want to trade. We don't want to trade within this little area right here. We want price to push out, and then we'll start looking for some entries when price is out this area. And price is probably not going to have a confirmation of trend until then anyways. You can see over here, the trend has not confirmed. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be looking for a momentum pullback scalp, but only until price pushes out of this area because the trend won't be confirmed until then. So you can see our price is now pushing up. This is a good sign. And then we'll start looking for some entries when price is out this area. And price is probably not going to have a confirmation of trend until then anyways. You can see over here, the trend has not confirmed. We'll be looking for a momentum pullback scalp, but only until price pushes out of this area because the trend won't be confirmed until then. So you can see our price is now pushing up. This is a good sign. And if this becomes the case and the trend over here shifts to the upside with the red pivot below all the other pivots, we'll be able to look for a possible buy entry here. So that's kind of what we're waiting for. I'll kind of have it set up here and ready for when it does happen, but it still has not confirmed here yet. So once it does confirm, we'll be looking for entry. But at this very moment, there is not any opportunity for entry yet. There's no PRB because there's no trend confirmation yet. Once this is confirmed, we can start looking for trades. But that's going to be the first step. Yeah, Nick says it feels like they're trying to lure in buyers to switch sentiment. Yeah, I can see that too, but you can see where price is currently at. It's in between these red flags, right? As I mentioned before, guys, you don't want to trade where the red flags are at, and price is literally in between the red flags. So if I was to take everything off the chart here, you'll see that these horizontal lines, I mean, they're pretty clear. Let me just show you guys real quick. I'll take all these zones off real quick, and I'll take off the indicator so that you guys can see a lot better. Where these lines go left to right, this is where manipulation tends to happen. And you can see where price is getting manipulated, right? It gets manipulated on this purple line right here, which is the session. This is the Asia high. You can see whenever price gets into this area right here, right down this middle, price gets manipulated, right? Has trouble getting past it. So you can't get past news right here. Can't get past opening price down here. Once it gets to this middle point where the session's at, price kind of gets a little crazy, goes back and forth very sharply. Again, right here, price attempted to get past news price. No luck right there, no luck right there. And this is where you don't want to trade. You don't want to trade where any of these lines go left to right. So you don't want to trade where any pink lines are. You don't want to trade where any purple lines are, blue lines, green lines, red lines. Those are areas to avoid. Because if you zoom out, you can see right here, it doesn't matter what time you're trading in. This whole area of manipulation has been here for a while. So this area has been area of manipulation, price pushed up, area of manipulation. And then right now, again, we're in New York session. Price is still within this area of manipulation right here. So just wait for price to push out of it. We're looking for price to push above so that we can trade out here, or we're looking for price to push down so we can trade down here. Like we're okay with trading in these areas, but we don't want to trade right here in the middle because that's where you're going to get caught with manipulation, and things never end out. They never end out well when you're trading in an area like that. So I've got everything set up here. The ATR is pretty high. So, I mean, entry might come up, but. All right, so we currently have the bullish trend now. We just need price to push up a little higher. It's just too close here. We need price to push a bit higher before we can start looking for that MPS. He does, huh, Maddie? He does. All right, so we got, I just realized that was a direct message, Maddie. I thought you posted that in the public. All right, so we have a bullish trend right now. The trend here is now bullish. You can see price is above the pivots. The trend here is now confirmed. We're just looking for price to push up. So price has got to push up here from where it's currently at. Let's see. Next asking, momentum signal before was invalid. Does that matter? No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because if price continues to push up and it's invalid, and like say for example right here, it's invalid, right? But price continues to push up, that just validates the momentum. It's invalid at the time, but if price continues to climb up from where it's currently at, it just validates it even more that this should have been probably a green candle, but because of market conditions at this specific time, it kind of just pulled it down. So we got an MPS that's starting to set up over here, guys. It's not here yet, but it's starting to set up. It's pushing out of the range, which is perfect. That's exactly what we were looking for. So we're going to look for price to kind of retrace a little bit. And then once it retraces, we'll be looking for entry for the MPS. So we're just looking for a red candle here. So if a red candle comes up, the entry would be right here at the 30 mark. It'd have to be above or wherever this level is. Might be here at the 20 mark. If it goes anywhere lower than this 20 mark, there's not going to be any entry because this is where the green momentum is. So the MPS might be right here at the 20 mark. I'm going to set this up, possibly. See, the candle has about 15 seconds left on it. So if this red candle closes above this 20 mark, this is where the MPS is going to be at.
Order submitted.
I got my pending order right there at the MPS at the 20 mark. So if it comes down and fills, that's going to be the entry for the momentum pullback scalp. If it pushes up higher, you'll have to look for the next level, of course. So the entry still pending right there, hasn't filled. Just leaving it as is. If I have to make some adjustments, I'll make some adjustments. But right now, it is still right there. So mine hasn't filled yet. It came close to it, but didn't fill it on my end. And that would have hit TP right there too if it would have filled. Yeah, unfortunately mine here didn't fill. So it looks like Nick caught it and Akil caught it as well. Mine's still pending. So I'm going to cancel it right now. Let's see. Yeah, because I think it like barely tapped it. So if you had like one contract chilling right there, it probably would have filled it, but the other the rest didn't fill. It looks like for Nick, only one contract filled. Yeah, I'm gonna cancel mine, guys.
Order canceled.
All right, order cancel on my end because yeah, it like literally came down to that point and it only filled on like certain people's accounts because it was so close and it didn't really like pull back into it, but it would have been nice. This would have been a great entry for MPS, right? This is what we were planning for. We were planning for price to come down, quickly fill your order, and then go straight up to TP. And that's what it did. That's the entry right there for the MPS. So unfortunately, mine didn't fill. It looks like a lot of you guys here did fill, at least for like partial contracts. Nick filled for one. Looks like Kenneth over here filled for one as well. Natasha there filled for one. So it looks like if you're still holding on to it, it probably would have filled again right here, and it's probably pushing up 2 TP. Yeah, it looks like it did. Fuck, should have just held on to it. It's all good, guys. So yeah, full TP right there. So if you guys held on to it, it went straight through. Nick over here, or sorry, not Nick. Tom over here got in for 3 contracts. I mean, if you guys held it and just left it there, it would have filled it eventually. I should have just held it, but it's okay. I wanted to be safe. Like I said, the market here is kind of tricky. It's been tricky like this for the past couple of weeks. But this is one of the official strategies that we're applying, the momentum pullback scalp. We had momentum right here, price pushed up. We had the trend confirmation right here. Once the trend confirmed, when price retraced right here, the entry would have happened at the next level, which was at 39.20. And then right here, price would have filled, went straight to TP. If it didn't fill there, would have filled on the next candle, and then straight to full TP again. But it's all good. I'm gonna wait for the next entry if we do have another one here. But there goes the first entry for the day right there, momentum pullback scalp. Yeah, Nick, Johnny got in as well, but then he had to pull out. Tom over here pulled out on its FTMO for partials because he didn't get like the full fill. Yeah, sounds about right. The market right now is just kind of tricky. So it's probably best to be safe than sorry, of course, especially on NFP. So we'll look for the next entry here. That was pretty much the only entry that came up so far. We'll be looking for another momentum pullback scalp, and then if not, we'll be looking for some breakout V3 continuations. No, I'm not taking anything else. I'm only taking momentum pullback scalps, and I'm only taking breakout V3 continuations. Not really looking at anything else than that. It's hard to look for multiple strategies. That's why I don't, because the market just moves too fast. Like for example, right here, this momentum pullback scalp could have been easily missed if you weren't like paying attention. So I mean, it did exactly what we were looking for. We were waiting for this candle to close above the 20 mark. It did. Entry would have happened at the 20, filled, and that's pretty much it. So I'm only focusing on two strategies, which is the MPS and the breakout V3 continuation. Not the regular breakout V3, but the continuation. We have liquidity sitting above over here at 39,073. If it keeps climbing higher, there could be a nice possibility for it to continue up to that point. And you can see over here from the original breakout V3, you just got like caught in manipulation here again. Price kind of went up right next to TP, pulled down for a fake out and went right back up, which is, I mean, typical. It sucks to consider it typical, but it is typical for the most part. Cam's asking if the PRB ever showed up. Here, let's see. So price shifted up right here. Rejection, no, okay, price came down right here. Rejection right there, space. That's kind of hard to tell here. Because it's hard. Okay, so I don't think this was the rejection because it didn't confirm trend until here. So we had the rejection right here, space, and the entry looks like the PRB might have happened like somewhere over here. It was really close to 7 o'clock though. Or this one right here. Actually, no, this one. Yeah, so it looks like the PRB, it looks like it might have, depending on where your entry would have been, this would have been the PRB entry. So it might have hit your stop loss right there, or it might still be running right now. But yeah, because the trend here shifted, the rejection was right there. It's kind of hard to tell because this rejection was right at the body. The rejection could have just happened right here as well. And if that was the case, then the PRB is actually over here, but it's almost 7 o'clock. So, I mean, this technically could have been the entry. Let me draw a line right here. Yeah, it looks like the PRB probably would have happened up here, but it would have lost. So the PRB happened right there and didn't look like it played through. There's just a lot of different opportunities here. Even for the sell, it looks like it could have came down here, but it's just a little tricky. It was a sell bearish trend here, rejection, space, price came down. So it could have even happened down here. It could have happened down here or it could have happened up here, but it's hard to tell because the trend here kept shifting back and forth. Like when the red pivot here shifted, that's when you kind of stop looking for it, which actually happened right here. The trend started shifting at this point. So there's no sell here. I guess this is the only opportunity that would have came up. It would have been a buy when this here shifted, rejection, space, rejection, and went straight stop loss. All right. This like range consolidation market is kind of screwing up everything for the most part. This is why I prefer to stick to the regular scalps because the regular scalps, you're not really tied to trading one direction, right? Whenever price shifts back and forth, you're kind of going with the trend. You're also only going for small moves, which makes it very beneficial for the majority of people. Just like the people here who caught the momentum pullback scalp. Some of you guys got it for partial, some of you guys got it for full profit. It just depends on like when you got filled. But this was a tricky entry because it literally came down and I thought I was going to fill, but it didn't come down far enough for us to catch it. Yeah, exactly. Drew said the trend was shifting. Randy's asking, is the 25-25 BB3 on a 4 losing streak? Let's see. I believe so. Yeah, it currently is. So it's at its max capacity right now. That's kind of what we expected for. So now that we have that data, I mean, now that we like have that and we know what's going on with the market, I think it's a good thing we shifted back to the regular scalps because now we can see that the market's really just going sideways a lot of the times. And that might be a thing to look at. So maybe avoid the BB3 when price is going sideways, or just go for a smaller TP stop loss. I think we just have to make adjustments to the TP stop loss because if you guys have been following the BB3 for the past couple of days, I think a lot of these losses here could have been salvaged. So like a lot of these here, if you look at the screenshots, a lot of them went into profit. So if we change it to like maybe a 15-15, these all would have hit. So like this one would have hit TP. And then I think this one over here also would have hit TP, the one from Tuesday. Yeah, because these all went to at least 15 points. It's just a TP stop loss has to be adjusted. The 25-25 is not working right now. So you can see right here, all of these pretty much all would have hit TP at 15 points. 15 points, 15 points, 15 points. This would have been a win streak this week if we went for a smaller TP stop loss. Because even this one right here, this one went to like 24 points, like literally right to TP, and then it came down. So if you guys want to keep taking the BB3, I think an adjustment to the TP stop loss might be the best case because that's just the type of market that we're currently in right now. We're in a consolidating ranging market. And the problem with that is that these breakouts aren't reaching their full potential, which is 25. I thought 25 would have been good because it seemed like that's like what what it would be set at. But, we learn with the market. So when the market changes, we have to adapt with it for the most part. Yeah, so if that's the case, might just go for a smaller TP stop loss. I mean, it's going to be tight, but it's going to make more sense. Yeah, exactly. Vamal said 100% agree. I observed the same 15-15 works well. This may be the situation until the elections. Yeah, and I agree with you too, 100%. So I'll probably make those adjustments, just go for a smaller TP stop loss because it seems like it works. I mean, if that was the case and we did 15-15, we would have had a 5-win streak this week because every day would have won, right? I think even on Monday, let's see. Yeah, even on Monday it would have hit because the initial candle would have went straight to TP. So if we did 15-15 for this whole week, we would have had a 5-win streak for the BB3, which I mean, it's some bullshit. It's but we wouldn't have known. So there's no way we could have known unless trading this week, right? The only way we could know that that would be the case is if we tested it, and that's why I've been testing it to make sure. Yeah, a huge spike right here with this huge green candle. And this is, I mean, price is obviously in a range right here. You guys can see this is what makes it so tricky to trade in this type of market because people will chase the sells and then they get wiped out. And then people chase the buys and then they get wiped out when price comes back down. So they get wiped out in both directions. Again, right here, whoever was chasing the sells, they just got stopped out. Whoever now is trying to chase the buys, they're not getting stopped out in this direction. It's a fucked up market. It's just the market's I mean, the thing is we know this and we can see it because it's right in front of us, right? We're analyzing it this way. But yeah, I mean, there's whipsaws and fake outs in both directions. It doesn't matter which direction you're trading in. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are getting, pretty much demolished right now because of the market conditions. And I think this is a good thing. This is good that we're analyzing the market like all throughout the session now. And we're not just focusing on the BB3 because you guys can see like it's pretty obvious what's happening here. There's fake outs that are happening above these areas. So a big fake out right here. And where is it going back to? The original range. This is the range where price was this morning. So market opened here earlier. This was the range. It faked out. It basically was like, oh, we're going to push price up. Psych. And it comes right back into the range. So it's like, if we weren't analyzing this in this way, or this manner, we wouldn't be able to identify that, okay, this is actually a fake out. It's not even, this wasn't even consolidation or range right here. It was just price was really ranging down here. It faked out to lure in some buyers, and then it faked out down to lure in some sellers, and then it faked out again back up to stop out all the sellers, and then it faked out again down here to stop out the other. And look where price is going again. it's going right back up. This is pretty crazy. I mean, it's not pretty crazy, but it's pretty messed up because I'm pretty sure you guys can kind of tell where people are getting screwed because people are chasing the sells and then they get stopped out. And then now they chase the buys and then they get stopped out. And now they chase the sells. And then if price pushes up again right here, they get stopped out like a fourth time. So it's just a back and forth process. And this is why it's good that we're looking at this from like a fishbowl perspective where we're looking outside in. We're not necessarily in the market, kind of like trying to get trades in like random places. We're kind of just watching it from a distance, and we're not getting caught in these fake outs because the fake outs are happening in both directions. Doesn't matter which direction you're trading in. And this is why it's also key that we look at the trend here because the trend's a big factor. You know, a lot of people look at different factors to identify the trend. But for us here, we can tell that price is actually bullish still. It's just faking out to the bottom right here. So price faked out above, faked out below, faked out above, faked out below. And then at this point, if price decides to climb back up, we'll know that this is a correction back to the upside, right? Because the trend here is still bullish. So just gotta wait. Just gotta wait for you know, opportunity to come in. All right. So there's no opportunities here yet. Price is pushing back up. Sadie said, it's your old kid pressing buy and sell here. Yeah, I know, right? And there we go. Price pushes back up. So price continues to push up from this point. I mean, we already know price is bullish. What we're looking for here is for another momentum pullback scalp, right? Which is not going to happen anytime soon because price has to push up very high up to this point here. Because price needs to be above the momentum signal. So there's not really going to be much opportunity here unless we get a sell signal. So we need a sell signal here to confirm the retracement. Once we confirm the retracement, we'll look for the continuation back to the upside. Steven said, I haven't taken any entries yet, but he made 100 pips in gold last night. Yeah, you should probably call it a week then, Steven. I mean, today's NFP, like this is a very tricky day to be trading unless like you're super confident about your entries. Um, so yeah, I mean, if you're done for the week, I'll just wrap it up. Nicholas. All right, Steven, we'll see you. Have a good weekend. All right, so we'll keep looking for entries here, guys. It's only 7-11, so we still have a lot of time here till 8. And the volatility is still very high. So the ATR is currently at 28 right now. So we'll keep looking for entries here. I just hope it would have been nice to catch this momentum pullback scalp that we had earlier. I mean, I was so set for that entry, but it's all good. I mean, it happens. I'm just surprised because usually for Apex, it's usually on point, but price really didn't get that far down. It probably just got like there's probably too many orders just waiting there at the 20 mark. And you know, obviously just missed. Yeah, had it at 20, Nick, on Ninja Trader. All right, so we got price pushing up right here. We might have another momentum pullback scalp setup that's going to be setting up soon. We need price to push up a little bit higher because we can't get in at this lower level right here. This level right here at the 40 is too low because that's where the momentum's sitting. The lowest level we can enter from is going to be this 50 mark right here. So I just need price to push up a little more. All right, so we might get the setup right here at the 50 mark. I'm going to go and try to set it up if possible. So if this candle closes above this 50 right here, this is where the entry is going to be for the momentum pullback scalp. We got 30 seconds left on the candle, so we still have a bit of time. If it closes above, the entry is actually going to be here at the 60, which is going to be kind of tricky, but I'll be looking to get in right here at the 50 maybe. But again, this candle has to close above it. If this candle closes below it, there's no entry. It has to close in between these two levels right here. So it's not looking like we're going to have an opportunity here for the momentum pullback scalp. Nope, it's too low. All right, so we need price to push back up. Let's see, Nicholas, a new concept for prop firm. Like when you want to prevent a trade, prevent a friend from driving drunk, you make him give him your keys. You can give your account keys to someone to not overtrade. And it's a good concept, but the thing with that is that like majority of these prop firms actually want you to fail because they get money that way. So I don't think that's well, some prop firms might be okay with that, but like for the most part, majority of them make a lot of money off people failing. Mainly the CFD ones, not I think the futures ones actually work in your favor, but the CFD ones definitely don't. Nicholas said, don't worry, I'll find a way to fail. Yeah, Kenny said that Top Step has a lock button. Yes, so they do. So with Top Step, they're actually one of the prop firms that actually want you to do well. So with Top Step, if you hit like a certain threshold, they won't let you take any more trades, and they actually lock out your account for the day. So now you can't unlock it yet. And Nicholas is asking if you can unlock it. So you can't unlock it until the next day. So your account's pretty much shut down for the rest of the day because they want to prevent you from over trading and revenge trading and stuff like that, which is a pretty cool concept. I mean, it's a cool concept. It's the only prop firm I've seen who's done that. But yeah, I mean, it is, I guess it'd be a cool concept if you had something like that. But then again, you have like, so like with your idea, Nicholas, I feel like someone who's a degenerate who trades like that, their friend is also a degenerate, right? So you're going to give your account to the friend that is another degenerate, and they're just going to blow the account. So yeah, it's just it's funny. It's funny thinking about it because usually people who trade like that, they trade with people who trade like that. Like they're all very like they're similar. Like you'll see people here in this group, right? In this group, we're all kind of like conservative and we're all kind of like focused and we all like follow the same thing because we all look at the same things. But when you're trading with somebody who revenge trades, and this only comes from experience, right? Because I've been mentoring and I've been teaching and I've been trading live with everybody here for I think like well over 6 years now. I know certain people, like I know everybody in the group. You guys might not think that I know you guys, but I know every single person here because I'm really good with my memory with people who do certain things. Like if people blow accounts all the time, I know who are those people. And if people who are successful, like majority of the time, I know who those people are too. Um, like a lot of people think that there's like a lot of people here that like you think that I don't know you. I know exactly who everybody here is because I see you guys every day and I see what you guys post. Like if someone's posting something dumb every day, we know who that person is, right? Like Steven. Steven is Bubba, right? You guys call him Bubba because he says funny things every day. Or he like he always makes a comment. Like everybody knows everybody here for something to some extent, even if you're quiet, if you don't really talk very much, somebody will know something. Like you probably still private message me, so I know you for like some sort of some reason. Like there's some people who are just quiet and they just blow accounts all the time, but they DM me, so I know that you're a person that blows accounts, which is fine. I mean, it's okay as long as you're learning from it. There's certain people who blow accounts all the time and they DM me and they still blow accounts. So that's kind of how like I I put people in certain categories. CJ said I knew Steven was going to catch a stray, right? Yeah, no, Steven's funny. Steven's been part of the group from I think Steven joined us during COVID, and I mean Steven's never changed. He's always been the same. He's been the same from years back. but it's all good. I mean, he's still trying. Like it's crazy. If you guys have been part of the group for a while, you've seen Steven go from like super highs to super lows. Like super, like I like super highs and super lows. Because he used to be super excited back then when we would take the breakout, the regular daily breakout. Um, like breakouts come and go. If you guys have been with us for a while, we used to take a breakout during COVID when price would move like thousands of points or 100 points like every single day within each candle. We would take those breakouts, and those breakouts were really good. It was like a one today strategy, but it was on the 10-minute time frame. It took a bit longer to hit, but I mean, it still hit. And I remember Steven like passed his MTMO during that time, and then he blew it the day after trading gold. And till today, you'll see Steven, like today, he just mentioned he traded gold last night and he made 100 points or 100 or 1,000 pips. Gold is usually what blows his accounts, but he still does it. Even though he says he won't do it and he knows it's going to mess his account up, he still does it. Um, I mean, it just is what it is. You can't teach someone to do different if they want to do a certain way or a certain thing. All right, so we currently have a possible V1 variation that's setting up right here, guys. I'm not going to take it. I'm just telling you guys that the V1 variation is coming up. There's a double wick rejection right here. However, it's right at the news price. So this is considered a red flag, and this is why it's not one that I would personally take myself. But if you guys want to take it, this is a V1 pattern. You know, just a heads up. There was also a V1 pattern right here too, but there was a buy signal here, so there was no pending buy. The difference with this here is that there's actually a pending buy signal. And this right here would be considered, you know, obviously a V1 pattern. The only thing is that it's right at news. So that's considered a red flag, not one that I would take. But if you guys did want to take it, looks like it's currently running right here and right now. Not in this position. I just wanted to mark it up to show you guys where it was, because I know some of you guys were asking about V1s. I still see the V1s. It's just I'm not taking them because red flags. And it looks like it's about to hit TP right there. Full TP off the V1 variation. So if anybody caught that, I gave you guys a heads up, gave you guys the opportunity to take it, but I didn't take it myself. So it's not counting as a trade. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Shannon said taking psychology course can help so I can get my head together. Stop trading gold due to blowing accounts. Yeah, exactly. Gold is really tricky. I mean, I've traded gold before in the past, but it's not exactly the asset that I choose to trade like ever. All right, I'm gonna take that off so you guys don't get confused there. All right, so we are still looking for another opportunity here, guys. It's 7:21 right now. As you guys know, when I take these regular scalps, I usually stop trading around like 7:40-ish, around that time, because that's when the volatility dies down. The volatility is actually still pretty high right now, so there's still opportunity for entries. The ATR is currently at 24, so the market is still moving. As we get closer to 7:40, right now it's 7:21, so in the next 10 or 20 minutes, the market should typically slow down a bit. And if that's the case, that's fine. You know, I've kind of made my peace with this week. This week has not been the greatest week trading wise, but now that we're back to our normal scalps, I think things are gonna turn for the good, because we'll be looking for more quality entries. There's gonna be less profit, so just keep it in mind, guys. When we're taking these smaller scalps, there's probably gonna be less profits per day, because we're going from making about 25 points a day to now 10 points to 20 points a day. So it's going to be slightly less, but you can expect a higher win rate. So you can expect less losses, or like maybe not even any losses at all, but you're also going to expect some smaller profits. So it's you're basically building your bankroll, and that's what I'm doing. I got to build my bankroll because I'm in such low drawdown because of Apex, but it's all good. Yeah, exactly. Slow build, like Nick said. I think a majority of us are in that position right now. So I think this is a good turn for all of us. A lot of you guys who have like very low accounts right now for Apex, you know, we're going to climb our way out. It's the only way to do it. We're going to climb our way out and hopefully bring these accounts back into positive equity. Well, most of my accounts are still in positive equity. It's just a couple accounts that are negative, but they are down with regard to drawdown. So yeah, I guess moving forward, if you guys want to adjust your TP stop loss for the breakout V3, I think that's probably going to be the best decision because I mean typically 15 points will hit anyways. So I think I'll be doing the same as well. All right. So we got no movement here. You guys can see the volatility starting to die down. You're starting to get some sort of a triangle setting up here. And you can see the ATR is getting lower. So it's doing exactly what we expected. I mentioned, as you get closer to 740, the volatility here starts to die down. It was at 24 earlier. It's now down to 22. It's now down to 21. And we'll see where this goes. We have a pending buy signal here. This is a good sign. If we have a buy signal here, this could start setting up for a momentum pullback scalp. This could also set up for a breakout V3 continuation. The only problem with this right here is the fact that it's at news price. So we need price to actually push up a bit higher for us to have a better setup here because we don't want to take the trade if it's at news price, of course. So we got price pushing up right here. This could be setting up for, like I said, a breakout V3 continuation. Got 24 seconds left on the candle. It's a lot of time. Sadie said 15-15 would have only been one loss this month. It actually would have been all wins. So you'd have all wins for this month so far. Because Monday was a win. This is Tuesday, would have won because it would have pushed up 15 points, right? This is Wednesday, would have hit initially on the first candle that came down 15 points. This is Thursday, would have hit 15 points, of course. And then this is from today, would have hit 15 points. So it would have been all wins for this week if we did 15 points. But yeah, like I said before, guys, like there was no way we could have figured that out unless I took if I documented the trades. So now that I documented the trades, you guys have those tools there and you guys have the data to show that, okay, you just have to go for a smaller TP stop loss. And I've mentioned that before in the past. I mentioned that for the BV3, the only thing that's probably going to need to be changed is the TP stop loss. So now that we have that data, just have to make an adjustment. And if the market volatility picks up again, then obviously we'll go for a bigger TP stop loss. But right now, I think 15-15 should be the case. I was thinking increments of 5, but I think increments of 10 would be the case here because the volatility is very low. I think 10-10 would be just too low, though. 10-10 wouldn't work. 15-15 is probably as low as it can go. Yeah, Drew said don't like these random spikes. He's good for the week. Yeah, if you guys don't have to trade him, that's fine. You guys can probably call it. I'm gonna wait and see if like anything here happens. If nothing happens, then I'm just gonna call it too. Because the price just keeps spiking back and forth. The volatility is all over the place. You can see it's back to 23. It was at 24 earlier, went down to 22. Now it's back at 23. And it's just shifting around a lot. Shout out to thanks for doing this, Sean. I have learned patience now. Yeah, I think now that we're analyzing the charts like all throughout the session, this is going to help with your patience as well, guys, because the problem with the breakout V3 before is that was all we were focusing on. So you guys didn't really know what was going on the chart, right? I would just hang out on the BV3 and we'd wait for the BV3. Once the BV3 hits, we would be done trading, right? Now that we're analyzing the chart completely, you guys can see here that the market's not good. We weren't really looking at the market as a whole, but now that you've seen it as a whole, you can see that the market kind of sucks this week. We thought the market was actually decent, but it actually sucks because you can see the range here. And if you look here on the clean chart, it's even more obvious that the market sucks, right? So you can just zoom out and I have the structure marked up here and there's not really too much going on. You can see how price stays in this range, pushes above, fakes out a bunch of times, and then it goes back into the range where it's supposed to be. The past couple of weeks were nice because price was just climbing and climbing and climbing. Now we have this mess here where price will like dump initially on open, come back up, dump back down, shoot back up, dump back down. It's just a huge range. Like it's not ideal. This isn't the ideal market to be trading in. All right, so we have the trend here that might be shifting a little bit, but I mean, realistically, there's not really much going on here. Yeah, Drew said, I think I forgot about the know when not to trade mentality since we looked for the BB3 without restrictions. And I think that was a big problem there. Yeah, that was a big problem because I think, well, I don't think I know. I know that the reason why we've been so successful over the years is because we've understood when not to trade, right? I think like for these past 6, 8 years now, I've been teaching you guys not necessarily when to trade. I've been teaching you guys when not to trade. And that's what made us so good because our win rates were super high. If you follow our data from like last year, so let's go to 2023, right? Um, so the data over here from 2023, you can see our win rate was super high. We had an 88% win rate, 92% win rate. Every month we had like a super high win rate. We had above an 85, 87%, 89%. In May last year, we had no losses, 100% win rate. June, we had a 91% win rate. July, we had a 88% win rate. August, this is when we started applying different strategies. Kind of changed it up a little bit, and then we went back to our regular strategies, back to 82%, 95%, 94%, 95%. So like for the whole year, we had a crazy win rate. We had like an almost 90% win rate for the entire year of 2023. So, going back to basics, that's kind of where we should be. The BB3, again, I said it's a good strategy, but it's not, you have to be able to adjust with the market. And we weren't able to do that because we were too focused on just one thing, which was BB3. We weren't looking at how the market was actually moving. So let's see. Nicholas is asking liquidity push or 30 points. No, liquidity push is with 10. So all the scalps that we take are for 10 points. Typically it's like a 1030 TP stop loss, but right now I'm using a 1025 because the volatility is so low. May 23, let me check. That might have been a different strategy. Yeah, let's see, May 23. Um, let's put that right there. Oh yeah, it was because of the volatility. The vaults, I forgot what happened here, but for this specific day, I don't remember what it was, but there was something that caused us to take that for a 30-30 for that specific trade. I think the volatility was just super high. I don't know what happened that day, but I think that was the only time we had it where it was like a full, I don't know if anybody remembers that day. I know we took it during the live. Probably go back and rewatch actually, no, we were taking, yeah, they were all like 300. You're right. I don't know. I can't remember. So long ago, a year ago. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I think what happened back then is that we had the volatility was super high and we were taking like 30-30s for the liquidity push and we had other confluences, but then we kind of changed it back to 10 because we just use it as a normal scalp. But like back then I think the volatility was super high. All right, so we have a pending buy signal right here, guys. We might have a setup for at least one more trade before we get off this live. So we have a possible breakout V3 continuation right here setting up. If this candle here closes green, it's got 50 seconds left on it, so it's got a lot of time. So you just want to sit tight. It's a lot of time until it ends up getting to that point. So we got 30 seconds, still a lot of time here. Looks like it's going to try to push for a new high. We've got 15 seconds left on this here. So if this closes green, I'll be taking it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Order filled.
It's right here. Where my entry come up from? So my entry was a little better from where it's currently at. I think I got in a little lower. My TP is at 59 actually. So it's a little bit lower prices currently at. I got a full
Target
TP,
filled.
guys. So I'm out full TP on my end. Here. Oh, fuck my life. I took that shit on my sim account. Fuck me. Oh, God, that's fucking bitch. Oh my God, that was a fucking dumbass move. That was such a stupid move. I took it on my freaking sim account. Oh my God. That was gonna be my win for the week. I'm so pissed at myself. It's all good. It is what it is. How does that even, I don't even know how that even happened. I never made that mistake. Um, but you guys heard it. It said it closed. So we'll just count this trade here. It should have hit, but I mean, it is what it is. So we had two trades that came up today. We had a momentum pullback scalp, and then we had we had a breakout V3 continuation. And you can see the 10 points hits. It's pretty smooth and it's pretty easy. So I'll just put this in the spreadsheet just so that because I want to be transparent with you guys. I took this trade and I don't want you guys to think that, okay, in the future, I'm going to hide trades, which I'm never going to do that. There's no need for me to hide trades because we have enough good trades that come up. I mean, it's all good. It was a little recap. I mean, a little recoup from like the loss. So like for this week so far, um, there's only been, this was BB3. So I'll put BB3C. All right, so for this week so far, for the official trades, I mean, we're still in the red, not super deep in the red, but we are in the red. We had 2 wins, 2 losses. Total profit over here is 10 actually. So we're at negative 15 points for the week, which is not that bad. It's okay. I would add the momentum pullback scalp here as well. I don't know. I guess we should add that so we have it in our data, huh? I think that's beneficial so that we understand, okay, what's working, what's not. So let me, I'll just put this here. This will be beneficial for us moving forward because we'll know exactly what's hitting and what's not hitting. And so we know what to use and what not to use, obviously. So let me copy this right here. Yeah, because this trade filled for like a pretty good amount of you guys as well earlier. I think like half of you guys here it filled for. It didn't fill for mine, unfortunately, but it did fill for all you guys. And it would have filled again right here. If it came down again for the other one I left, it would have filled. So we'll have this for our data. It's 6:54 that it came up. So we understand what times these entries come up. So this one over here is going to be the MPS. So I mean, this week actually wasn't that bad. It was just for the BB3 kind of sucked, but for everything else, pretty solid. Like MPS came up right here. BB3 continuation came up right there. And I think this would have closed out the week pretty nicely. I mean, it's all good. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions that you guys, yeah, Song said, sim account be up for the week. I know, man, it sucks, but it's all good. Yeah, I think that's about it. So guys, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat right now. Otherwise, we will be wrapping it up for the day. So yeah, guys, if there's any questions that you guys want me to cover real quick before we get off, feel free to hop into the chat. Otherwise, looks like we will be good for the day. Let me see how much profits would I would have made on that. You know, I'm taking small trades right now, so $100. It's all good. I missed out on $100. But I'm also trading. So I started a 300K account just to have for backup. So 15 times 5 times 10, made 750. That's all good. Would have made 750, so 100 times 20 plus 750. Would have been 2,750 for the day, which is all good. I mean, it's just me trying to recoup my profits back up. Hopefully next week we'll have a smoother market and we'll be able to look for more entries here. But other than that, I think that's about it. Nicholas said, I got a suggestion for you, Sean. When you take the print screen of the trade, leave the indicators on. It gives you more info when you need to look back at it. Yeah, no, definitely. That's how I do it, right? Or I thought I did it that way. Yeah, like this, right, Nicholas? Normally for the regular scalps, I usually do. I think it was just for the BB3 because the BB3 didn't require all the indicators. But yeah, since we're taking the regular scalps, I'll be taking the screenshot with all of these here. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. No, I'll do that definitely. I think that definitely helps too, so we can see where the red flags are, right? I think that's a key thing because if you go back in time, like we try to go back and back test, we don't have like the pink line, the purple line, etc. So I'll do that. And I think that'll be super beneficial for all of us. So all right, other than that, I think that's about it. So, all right, guys, have a great weekend. If there's any questions, feel free to reach out. I'll probably be hanging out for a little bit. I got to put up the results anyways, but if not, I'll see you guys back here on Monday for market open. We'll be back for regular scalps per usual. So the BB3 I'll be taking with on my regular account or my personal account for 15-15, I guess. And then we'll just keep taking the week as is. So let's see. CJ's asking no mentoring session. Oh yeah, I forgot. Well, actually, so there's actually no mentoring session for today. We're having it every other week now. Yeah, it's monthly now because it's last week was or last month. So the initial month was every day. Then we went every week, then every other week, and then now it's monthly. So I'll let you guys. We'll set a poll up to see what day you guys want. I don't know if you guys want it in the beginning of the month or the end of the month or middle of the month, whichever works best for you guys. But yeah, it's monthly now, CJ, because the mentoring group is kind of, I mean, it's basically over at this point, or it's not over, but this is our last month before May, where everyone's supposed to be done. Yeah, I think mid-month works best, Hunnick. Because then I think mid-month would work best because we can see how the initial half of the month is working. And then the second half of the month, we can like adapt to it. So I think once a month is probably going to be best, just so that you guys have room to kind of like experiment, get ideas, have more questions, and we can kind of base everything off like what the month looks like by then. So. All right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here on Monday for